Hey guys, Creator Mom. I want to talk about this idea about self deprivation. So, I found this new book about, it's pretty much along the lines of intuitive eating. Um, I haven't read it yet, but it's called the Fuck It Diet, and which aligns with, I'm excited to look at the book and see what all it says, but I was listening to somebody's review about it, and I was like, yeah, this is like along the lines of intuitive eating, you know. And this theme came up, which is also a theme in a common theme in the world of unschooling. And the theme is, if I give myself the freedom, see, we deprive ourselves from freedom because we don't trust ourselves. If I or maybe you're whatever, maybe you think you know yourself or you know how you are, whatever the case is. So the basic idea is, if I deprive myself of freedom because I don't trust myself. If I allow myself to say that I can eat whatever I want, I will eat the worst foods every single day. Well, of course, you will eat the worst foods every single day because you've led a life of self deprivation. It is like a child. It's like your inner child in a way, right? Because this isn't unschooling, this is what we say about children. If I allow my child to do whatever they want or follow their desire, they will be watching YouTube videos all day. They will be on a screen all day. They will not want to do anything else. See, there's a common thread there. And maybe this self deprivation starts in childhood, right? We need the outer disciplinary in order to keep us in line, or else we'll just spin out of control. I guess it's more like this other way is kind of like about maintaining self-control from within kind of thing. So the people who are like the really good teachers in the unschooling philosophy will say, yes, of course, if you're going from very strict arbitrary rules, they call them, and arbitrary rules would be to say, you have 1 hour to spend on that tablet and then you must get off no matter what you're doing, right? That's arbitrary. As where the flow of life would be, hey, Johnny, I know you're watching that on your tablet, but in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we're going to leave the house and you can't take your tablet with you. So I'm just like pre warning you, or, that something like that. I'm not going to pretend that I'm an unschooling, not, I was going to say the word advocate, but I'm learning. I'm still learning. So forgive me if that example wasn't perfect. It's funny because when you, anyways, I was just going to say something that relates to something else, but sometimes you find legalistic people within different groups of thought. I think because they want to make sure that the principles of a certain thought are not misconstrued. So when people say things wrong, they're like really harsh about it, which I understand, because something like unschooling can be very misconstrued to people thinking that, oh, this means we just let our kids do whatever the hell they want and we just back away and just don't put any input. And that's not what it means at all. It's living together with your children supportively. And so, yeah, I understand why people are strict about their thoughts, philosophies, and ideas because they don't want them to become misconstrued. So, anyways, back to the whole dieting thing. So, there's a connection there, right? So, if somebody's saying, like, if I let myself eat whatever I want, I'm going to eat donuts every single day and blah, blah, blah. Well, yes, of course, because that has been off limits for you. So, you're going to take it to the end. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you'll eat donuts every single day. But the idea is that eventually you will probably get sick of it and be like, actually, I don't really want to eat like this every day. I would rather eat this today, or I want a salad, or I want some chicken, or I want vegetables. And it's about self inquiry. Everything is about self inquiry when you come down to it. Um, Manifestation, everything, all of it is about trusting self and self inquiry and deepening relationship with self. So, and not relying so much on the arbitrary rules on the outside, but from relying on yourself from within. And to say, like, I don't trust myself, I would do the worst things. Well, that means that we have to work on that. It means that somewhere along the way, you were told that you can't trust yourself, that you make dumb decisions, that you are dumb. And maybe that's due to being raised by somebody who's narcissistic, who could not promote such a thing as you actually trusting yourself. Like, what? No, you must trust them and what they say. You are dumb. So then that's like, okay, well, I need to do work in that area, obviously. Me personally, I never liked any type of diet. I want to eat whatever I want, whenever I want. And that doesn't mean that I eat donuts and ice cream every day because I don't want to. you know, like for the most part, I want to eat like pretty good savory foods. And when I want ice cream, I'll eat a little ice cream because I can. If I want a donut, I'll eat a donut. Maybe I'll eat half of a donut. Maybe I'll eat 2 bites of a donut and my taste buds will be satisfied. And my body will be like, that's it. We don't really need any more. We just wanted a bite. So that's the life that more aligns with who I am. And so I just think it's interesting that I just thought it was interesting the parallel between an adult saying, if I gave myself freedom, excuse me, if I gave myself freedom, I would choose the worst things. It's the same thing we tell children. If we gave children freedom, within our protective range, like obviously where they're supporting them, but if we allowed them and we gave them freedom, they would make the worst choices, And I think that we find that that's not necessarily true. I think that when we give children freedom with support, we find unlocked within us so many fears that we have to work on within ourselves, and we have to figure out, where do these fears come from? For me, a lot of times it's funny because I can feel my mother's anger. Like, oh, if my mother knew this was how I parent, or like that we're in, have this style of doing this or that, she would be so angry. It just is funny because I find that coming up, and is she here? No, she's not. But in my consciousness, she's there, slowly fading away as I allow my own self to take up more space, right? And not your parents' ideals. Hey, maybe some of your parents' ideals you want because they were good, and some of them you let go. So, the whole thing about freedom makes us face our own fears and our own self. And maybe that's the most scary thing about freedom,